Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Emmanuel and I'm here with
Hi guys, I'm Philip, the mass guy.
okay. Initially we talked about tech careers and navigating into tech careers. Today we'll be diving into the world of product design with Philip, and we'll be asking several questions on how to be a better product designer or how to even start with product designing. So we'll go into the first question. Philip, please introduce yourself and tell us about your background experience when it comes to product design.
Okay. Hi guys, once again, I'm Philip, this guy, and we were classmates. We both finished from University of Lagos. So before venturing into, or before even knowing what product design or UI design was, I started off as a graphics designer. But that was in my early years in school, I think around year 2 or 3, where I was seeing guys trying different or recreating like designs in the hostel, and I wanted to like also be involved in that process. But it was something I liked doing, but it was different from what I was doing in school because I was learning computer science and we were doing programming and programming basically. But along the line, I wanted to be involved in the whole programming space without having to write code, which was something I tried initially and was not something I enjoyed doing. So I think that was what product design gave to me. It found a way to look for a common point for both my graphic design skills and what's it called, what I learned in school, which is computer science, so majorly programming, which is what we like focused on in school. So yeah, then I think during I did not have time in school to actually focus on that, but I knew that this boy is never going to write a code in his life. It's not something I want to do.
So, Philip, are you saying I'm never going to be the programmer kind of guy or the code guy?
Okay, I think the answer to this, yeah, I'm never going to write code in my life.
Okay.
I've tried even like when I had like lesser things to do on my schedule, like to try and learn it, but it's not something I like. So I don't think it's something I'm ever going to ever do. And thanks to like low or zero code tools, we have like Framer and the likes now. I don't think I'm currently working on or redesigning my portfolio, and I don't think I've written any line of code, but I have a working link that shows what I've done and it's looking like a proper website that anybody that writes a code will probably have. So I don't think it's something I'm ever going to venture into in my career.
So another question I would like to ask is what actually inspired you to move into product design, and what's how did you develop your skills over time in product design?
Okay. Like I said initially, product design was like a common ground for me to combine what I've learned in school and what I like doing.
Okay.
So initially, or let's say like I already have like the concept of how to use colors, how to like use fonts, how to manage my spacing and all, which is like basic skills you need when doing graphics design. And before I also like went into product design, I did little of video editing where I played around with After Effects and Premiere Pro. So I think it was easier for me to blend into the UI part of product design, which is like the easier part where everybody focuses on. But the other part which we mostly ignore, which is the UX part, the experience part, was something that I lacked initially because we all know how difficult it is for us to like gain or get into the industry with like little or no experience in the country. So initially all I did was to try and recreate as much as I could. I started with like recreating my bank apps,
Nice.
bolt apps and things I use frequently and try and recreate things I see online even till now. If I see a particular website, I just take a screenshot. If it's on Twitter somewhere, I just take a screenshot and look at okay, when I'm free, I want to see if it's something I can recreate. And if I see that was something I create, I've learned that skill and I might not even use it in that concept work. Later on in future it becomes useful. So I think I'm always moved around by what I see. I spend most of my time on the internet, so I have like platforms I check. Instagram basically a lot of sites, so a lot of pages I follow on Instagram that post like tips, design tips regularly.
Nice.
And I would say the best teacher is working on a live project or involved in the real world because there's nothing like that. Whatever you're being taught in like your design class, it is way different from what you experience in the real world. Because whatever you're being taught in your design class, you are being taught at the pace at which your teacher wants to teach you.
What design tool or software would you suggest for a beginner in product design?
Okay. So I would say I've been pretty much using the same tools like since I started. And so, like I said, I started off with graphics design, so I still make use of my Photoshop skills and and Adobe resources in general. So currently I make use of Figma for designing. Other people use, you have Sketch, you have XD, but I use Figma for designing. Then for inspiration, Almighty Dribble. Let me not go here. Dribble, Behance. I use awards for website inspirations. Then when it comes to like mobile apps and like from setting flows, I make use of mobbing. Instagram also, I follow like some accounts on IG that post like so I'm trying to like work on my prototyping skills. So there are some accounts I follow basically that post most of that type of content that involves adding life to your products, like animating your designs, not just having like still pictures and that's basically. What else? Yeah, I use FreePic for vector illustration.
Oh, okay.
Then for icons and 3D, I use icon scouts for icons and 3D. Then what else? For pictures, Pinterest, Unsplash, Shutterstock. Yeah, basically, yeah. Those are like tools I combine.
Is it possible for a beginner to actually start with his mobile phone, like start designing products using his mobile phone, or would you suggest a laptop?
Mm. If you really want to take design serious, you will need a laptop because why? Designing a laptop, you can preview designs for your watch, you can preview designs for your phone. So when you are designing on your phone, which I don't advise you should do, how do you preview your design on your laptop?
Oh, okay.
So imagine your screen of 1440 pixels. Imagine it's squeezed into your phone screen. So it's pretty much a designing for your phone. And I don't think you could get that better experience of seeing how everything should be. You probably ignore most of the things. You won't see like errors because everything is squeezed. Everything is actually squeezed. So most of those your little errors that you might have ignored while designing that when you prototype, because when I design, I prototype to see what it actually looks like. So while going through it also I see errors. But when I'm looking through that on my phone, I'll most likely not see those errors. So I would not advise that you should. If you want to, unless you don't have like the resources to like get a system, then I will say okay, if it's a phone you can like manage, so you get something. But on the long run, nobody's going to employ you to come and design for them with your phone in the office.
What suggestion will you give a beginner who wants to start his product design career?
Okay, so well, like I said earlier, concerning not being able to do it alone, because you can't. Apart from the fact of you trying to, like I said, be taking on like task of redesigning like apps you use frequently.
Okay.
What this particular process opens to you is you get to understand the elements that are involved in the design. Say if I should create, for example, a landing page, while designing, I will understand the spacing because I'm creating. That's like the first stage. I understand why this spacing is like this. I understand alignment. I understand the font sizes. So it's unlike when you are starting to do something that you know nothing about. But when you recreate, you first like it's like a sample or a template you are following. So it like guides you to like understand how those other elements, and at the same time you're also understanding how the software is being used, your Figma. You understand where your shape tools are, where your text tools are, how you can import, how you can prototype basically.
Okay.
So apart then, so that's after that also. I think the next thing we will need to do is to put ourselves out there, because we know that you are good, but those people out there don't know you are good. So you need to put yourself in that online space. And how do you do that? So like my early years, what I did was to recreate like some specific tools, but I did that with like an extra thing. So what I did was I recreated and I noticed like some errors or different ways I could like make the experience of that particular tool better. So for example, maybe a banking app where I could like add a better feature to it. So I just do that and also like post that on my portfolio. So that is like letting whoever I see know that apart from the fact that my UI skill is fine and I can redesign this thing and make it look the exact way, I can also think around the process that was involved and look for a way to make UI or UX better.
Nice.
So whoever that is coming in there and seeing that you have like few months experience does not expect you to have one big app out there. So what the person can, that is where you need to like show the person that I've not yet been out there, but I've been busy doing things. I've been busy trying to figure things out on my own. So that person understands that, oh, okay, you don't have things out there, but I know that you've been putting work to like take it to that next step. But for those that I would say over the years, yeah, there's no portfolio like a life project. That is just the thing. Do you get? Most people will not want to go through whatever case study you might write. If I know you're the one that designed Uber app, for example, I'd rather go to Uber app, and I don't even know Uber app, for example. Yeah. So I don't think I want to be seeing your process. Do you get?
Yes.
I already know you built something that is working, people are using. Do you get? So there's nothing that is going to ever beat you having a life project.
What would you suggest to a beginner who wants to kickstart his product design career?
Okay. My early phase or my early stage, yeah, I used to use that word but my whole idea then was just to learn. It was not about making money at that point. So I would say the usage didn't really get to me like that. Because it was a project that I worked on initially with a friend of mine. I don't know if Aji would say it. He's going to remember this project. So it was like a student learning platform that also had like a what's it called? Like also a ranking system based on how much you've learned on the system. So we worked on that project. It was like the first project I worked on. It was like the first project I touched then. I think how much, you can't say it was going to pay me 7,000 then. Wow. So I think when we were done with the project and I reached out and the guy was like, he doesn't need the project again. So, but at that point, that experience, me, I don't hold am already. I've picked it up already. I've learned it already. So at the first few stage or the first few opportunities you will get, it's for you to learn. You will get to the point where you turn down projects. I turn down, not like I'm trying to, but I turn down projects. So you get to that point where you know that this is who you are, this is what you can offer. And you also have like projects to like back that up. You get, so you get to that point where somebody's going to offer you this and you tell the person, nah, this is too small. And trust the person is going to come back.
So let me ask, will you advise a beginner to add some of all these small projects to their portfolio?
Yeah, I would, because I think when my initial portfolio, I didn't even really have like a full project.
Okay.
For example, I had like different phases of projects. I worked on a logistics website one time. There was a phase that I worked on. I think it was the checking out phase. So I just explained that whole process and I put it in my portfolio. And also, I would also advise to also limit like the number of projects you like put. And your project also signifies the type of people you're attracting. Because I always get like remarks on my portfolio. Oh, you've only worked on fintech. You've only worked on fintech. You've only worked on fintech. Because that's like the people I'm trying to attract. If you really want to attract like a particular type of people based on the projects you worked. For example, you worked on like maybe websites for like food ordering systems, and you know that okay, this is the type of people that I want to attract. Those are like type of content you should push into your portfolio. So it all depends on what you want to attract.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
How should a beginner source for feedback in order to improve?
Okay. My circle is, I would say I have like majority of like tech guys around me because of what I studied in school. So I have like a lot of programmers around me. So I always reach out to like one of them. So always like, oh, can you help me go through this stage? Is there anything you notice? So I always have like, there are a lot of people, like I have a lot of friends. I don't really go out there to like sort for like people's feedback. So like, because I have a lot of people around me. And also when you are, like I said, okay, beginner, but when you start like working in a real life space, you will not really need that because your PM is on your neck. So he or she will be the one to review what you are doing. Okay. You get so, but when you before you get to that space, you need like friends and you need that network. Like I said, you be able to do it. You need people that you can like send links to and always ask for feedback.
What are the common mistakes you made while starting product design?
Okay, I think it was identifying that I had switched from a phase where I was the PM, assigning myself tasks, delivering when I could deliver, to a phase where I was no longer designing for myself, but the PM, designing for like 1,000 or quite a number of people. I think my earlier phase or my earlier experience to that was the initial project that I worked on, which was like a crypto platform, where I now needed to start asking questions. And when I mean questions, I mean like technical questions as well, because if you assume, yeah, all in the name of you don't want to look like you don't know, is that you end up wasting your time alone, wasting everybody's time, because if you make a design that is not, or that is not what's it called, usable, and your PM doesn't identify that, it goes into the developers will waste time to develop it. After developing, it goes out, maybe one way or the other, the user sees it, it comes back. You wasted your time, the PM's time, user's time, dev's time, user, everybody's time in general. So you can easily avoid that by asking the questions, yeah? Because you may see designs out there, oh, these are the top trends, or these are like the trending design patterns. But you should always ask who you're designing for. Imagine you're doing a Web3 design for somebody in their 70s. All because you want to do something that is out there, or something that is probably trending. And another thing again is people, like I said, this I'm trying to relate UI UX now to usability and creativity. Creativity falls around what people will see. That's where your UI comes out. Oh, your design, your landing page is fine, the colors are popping, the illustrations are crazy. But is it usable? It's fine, yes, it's wonderful, but the people you created it for, can they use it? So most times, yeah, I always first ask the question, is there a need for your product? Most times you just really need agents that probably be handling these guys that, oh, okay, I'll give you an example of, I've worked on also, and let me call it an e-commerce in general. We also have like agents, we have like traders, we have like merchants also that provide the services or provide the goods to the end users. So I always ask, is it better to start or keep creating better designs for these older people, which you know majority of them are not really educated? Is it not easier for one person, or imagine you assign 5 merchants to one agent, and this merchant goes to this agent and says, oh, mama, what do you want to buy this month? Oh, 5 this, and takes all those things down. At the end of the day, your goal is not for you to have a product. Your goal is for you to make income or make profits. That is the end goal, not your product. If you can make, I always advise people, if you can achieve what you are aiming for without the product, you don't need to create it. If your agents are better off servicing your merchants, providing their resources, attending to them, they can call them when they need products, they can also like get feedback. When they have one person they can always call, other than when they have an app, which we know apps will always have errors. That's why we always have errors with the designs, because it's expected. So it's always easier when mama calls one person and say, oh, I think I called earlier, I needed 12, not 10. And when mama is logging on an app and trying to make those corrections, you get. So at the end of the day, it is around what you want to do and what to do. If your aim is to just create a product, fine. But if your aim is to always make gain, I always look at it that you should always like weigh every possible option and not just fall back to doing a product, all because you want to be in that tech space.
Yeah. So what do you have to say about generalists and specialists when it comes to product design or UI UX?
Okay, I would not say I'm a specialist, but I always advise like like the basic of everything. You get. So currently now I'm even trying to like learn spline so I can learn like a bit of 3D, but I'm not like planning to like go way into that. But knowing like the basics of everything, you get. So if I want to work on a website now, even if I need like a video or I need like little animations, I know how to go around it, because I either know how to use like components to play around, or either I use Premiere Pro to like work on a video. But I know that for almost every resource I might need on my design, I will either go to Photoshop and edit an image, crop out, play with it, bring it back. I either go to Premiere Pro, work on one video, bring it back. Or I either just download one 3D from Icon Scout. I can still, at the end of the day, there's one thing that Photoshop will teach you, is always finding a way to get to what you need to get to. Because over the years, I've not had experience, I've not known how to like work on 3D icons or edit 3D icons, but I always find a way to download my 3D icons, bring them into Photoshop, and like break them down, so like cut them down to like different aspects and edits, and then combine back. Just play around with the colors and maybe the size. But it's always, I won't say you should be a specialist, but knowing like a bit of everything actually helps. Knowing, because if you don't know like a bit of everything, it tends to slow down your design process, because you always need to like reach out to someone. Oh, Alpha bro, I need this picture. Can you help me edit it? It also slows down your design process. And the way design works is from my own angle, it's based on how the design is vibing with me. So I work on the Euro section, I work on the next section. And if I get to a point where I'm not figuring out what that next section is, the ginger kinds of reduces and it does the morale. But if I know what I'm meant to do and I know how I'm meant to do it and I figure it out, it may just take me time, but I know what I want to do. But I figure it out. So knowing a bit of everything is better than just focusing on one thing. If you are a badass, you can't just be a product designer and say you are the best. I probably don't know how to edit videos. All the guys I've worked with over my years, like the guys I've looked up to, even my previous team lead, he had an idea of everything. Okay. It was somebody that I knew that, okay, because I worked with him for like a year, but somebody I knew that, okay, I really looked up to because he had a solution to everything. Whether it was graphics design, he would figure it out. Whether it was a video, he would figure it out. Whether it was a design, a landing page, he will figure it out. Okay. So he does not relate to himself as a product designer because I see him as more than that. You get, so it's always better you like just a bit of everything, especially around here.
How do you stay motivated and committed to the design journey?
Okay, I would say the first thing is liking what you do. That's like the major thing because that's what like keeps pushing. Even like the days where you want to work on a project you do not like, or maybe you get there are projects that we get, and these are projects that are probably they are around areas where we want to like also learn things around. The urge or the ginger to work on those projects will be different from projects where you know that, oh, maybe it is an in-house project or so. Or if that's what's it called, that passion as a designer, or I'm someone that I like design. So whether movies, I'm someone that I look at billboards to like get inspiration. I look at even as far as cars on the road. I always like to like look at things and understand how those things were like broken down, the idea around it. So maybe that was what fueled me because everything I've ventured, I've tried to put my hand around. I've worked on what's it called? Still designs. I've worked on videos, I've worked on flyers, I've worked on designs for prints. But everything was still around design. So it was still around something that I like doing. So yeah, even down till now, I like see when I explore different websites, I always like check websites every day. There's some things I would see, maybe a particular level animation. I just use my phone to take a quick recording of that particular animation, and I try and see if it's something that I may not even complete it. I just want to just understand the idea behind it. But once I understand that particular idea, oh, this is why this animation or this transition is there. Oh, this is why this guy is popping up. I may not use it then, like I said before, but I already understand that particular idea. It's something that I might use. You might learn one particular thing in design, but I always say it here. There's nothing new in design. There is nothing you want to do, yeah, that has not been done. You are just adding a little difference to it. It's just the Burna Boy says doing Afrofusion. You always Afrobeats, but it's adding like extras to it to call it Afrofusion. So it's the same thing with design. If you want to do a landing page, you have to have a Euro section, you have to have a header, you have to have a footer, you have to have like different sections. There's no website that is not going to have that. You may decide to say, oh, you want to change it and make it scroll horizontal instead of vertically, but you are still going to have a Euro section where you land on. You must still have your header. You might decide to say you don't want to have a footer, but you must still have a section where you point people to all those items you put in your footer, like your news, like your blog, your contact us. You must still have a section. You will not call it a footer. Well, you must still have areas where all those things. So in the long run, it's not just about. I'm this type of person that I always try to explore every particular design in my head before I go and look for inspiration. I always try to explore every particular design in my head before I go and check out and see, well, is there a way I could like do this better. So because I have that urge, like, oh, I like this thing, let me see what I can do for myself. But if you're somebody that, oh, that urge is not there, you just want to do it for the money, you will copy designs up and down because you want to push yourself to like that next phase. And don't misquote me, the hunger is a ginger, is a very big push for me because you have to be hungry. If you are not hungry, yeah, if you are very comfortable from my own point of view, people are gonna be people in comfort and they still want to like stress. And if I was in comfort, I would probably just be traveling and be touring and probably just be visiting destinations or something. But if you are hungry, yeah, it's another push. You know that you need to. You have rent to pay now, guy. you have bills to pay, so you need to push out that design. So the hunger plus the passion is like that's very crazy combo. that just keeps pushing.
That's the product friction.
So the day where the passion is not there and there's no ginger, bro, you have bills to pay. You don't want them to sack you. You don't want the client to tell you, I won't be able to pay your balance because it's not meet up. So there are days where you combine, there are days where you have to like use either the hunger or the passion. But mostly the two of them combined is like what has actually been like pushing me over the years, and it's like pushing me to always want to like see how well I can grow my skills and also like be a better person generally.
Thank you everyone for joining us to the end of this episode. I want to say a big thank you to my friend Philip also for sharing more light to product design.
Thank you, Olumide, for having me on this episode. And I also like to like say a very big thank you because like my first experience I had on like out there apart from like creating designs was through Olumide. So the first team I joined or the first position I had as a product designer where I was held accountable to like designs and all was through Olumide. So I'm also going to thank him for believing in me as a dev that I could like do more than what I was training as a dev. So it's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Remember to like, share and subscribe. We'll be doing more of this video. We'll be talking about tech careers and then we might be talking about a career you want to dive into. So share this video, like this video and comment. Thank you.